This is the one of the European plums, I'm pretty sure, and starting to have a little bit of bud break on there. It's kind of hard to see. There's a little bud coming out right there. Other one's starting to break on there. Had some of these big limbs that were sitting around over here that I've broken up and put on the beds just to add some carbon material on there and help create really fertile, healthy soil. Oh, I was chasing a bee, but he flew away. Where's she? It's the apple tree with the two blueberries right here and right here on the southeast and southwest side of the blueberry. I'm sorry, of the apple tree. Nothing's there. I dug this recently, and it's one of the most recent ones I've dug the outline of, and put some of that soil there for a future spot. That was where something was that didn't make it, so just getting it ready to put something there in the future. Another apple tree that hadn't leafed out. The blueberries are here in the same pattern as the last one. Cherry tree still hadn't leafed out yet. I think that's everything on this row. This is the big unknown plum tree with the blossoms that smell really good. It's covered in blooms right now. Can't really smell it that well right now. It's pretty cool this morning, so it seems like when it heats up, the smell really comes out stronger. I experimented with some grafts on this tree just because the plums weren't of good eating quality in my opinion, so like I've got some grafted on here. It's my first year grafting, so we'll see how it goes, but it's looking like they're taking. The buds are starting to swell a little bit on here. It's done about a week ago, early this past week, and I did a whip and tongue graft on there of some of these branches, just trying to match up same diameter, like of the branch to the scion wood. And these were the very first ones I did before I did some of the other ones I showed from earlier this week, from the actual little trees, like bench grafting, where you're grafting the scions onto the rootstock. These were obviously grafted directly onto an established tree, so a little bit different. Looks like that bud, I'm not sure how well that'll show up. There's a bud on the very tip of the top side of that branch that looks like it was swelling. One right here that looks like it's swelling a little bit. Got some green growth on that one actually. These buds look like they're swelling a little bit, so hopefully they'll take. We'll see. Should be interesting to find out. It'd be nice to have some additional varieties grafted on there that are good eating, and they'd probably pollinate really well just with all the different varieties. And this tree, as you can see, produces a ton of flowers, so I don't foresee pollination being an issue here, so that's always nice. So we'll see how those turn out. This plum tree starting to leaf out. Getting some good growth on there. This is a Japanese plum. It's looking good and healthy. This is really probably the main branch that I'll keep as the main branch. This little piece right here, I'll probably keep it for now. I may remove it depending on what happens, but it could send out some huge growth and kind of reestablish as the main part of the tree, so I may end up leaving it. Got some good healthy growth right there too on it. It's coming out nicely. apple tree with those shoots at the bottom that hopefully will be turning into some on root fruit trees. I think there's 4 of them down there. It's kind of got an upright growth habit. You can see these bottom limbs right here. They grew later than all these, the top portion of the tree, and they just really just shot almost straight up. But I'm just gonna let them do their thing because these will probably branch out and create some good side growth off to here, so I think they'll be fine. The apple tree with kind of the issues. Doesn't look like I see too much powdery mildew still. Just a few little spots right there, and a little spot over here. Doesn't seem to be doing too bad though, so let's see how that goes. Black locust still hadn't budded out yet. Looking really healthy though and strong. Little apple trees, not leafing out yet. Same with the older one right here. This one's the hidden plum tree. Just saw this really spiny thing right here. Kind of interesting. It's really prickly. You can probably see the spines down there on it. Just noticed that. Interesting. This is part of the tree, I think, maybe. Yeah, I think this is part of the, it came right up through all that, so looks like it's doing good to get through all that and fighting to live, so that's always a good thing. Probably just leave it, probably remove some of that clearing stuff so it can hopefully branch out from down there. Have some new growth on there near the bottom of the tree, really bush out. There's the fallen over plum tree. And the apple tree, sending out some good growth. Be interesting to see what it does this year with the with it being completely fallen over all year long. It seemed to do fine last year, so see how that goes. Little apple tree not sprouting yet. The mulberry, I'm pretty sure, died back to the ground. Nothing budding out yet that I can see. Apple tree still dormant. Other apple tree still dormant. This one's hanging on to a few red leaves too from last year. Mulberry. So it looks like it's about ready to leaf out. Some of these buds are really swelling on here. Getting real close. Oh, there's one that's kind of got a little bit of green coloration on it. Starting to come out. Always love when stuff buds out for the year. It's neat seeing the everything start growing again, and after being dormant for so long. Dormant apple tree right there. That apple tree's still dormant. A tall mulberry. I see a few of its buds swelling more up top. So that one maybe, this one's probably a little bit later than that other one we just looked at. Apple tree still dormant. Another apple tree still dormant. Looks like it's got a really healthy looking tip on that one. That's the mystery rootstock. Cuttings right here. Try to get out of the way of the, try to get my shade out of the way. The willows are really starting to put on some growth. You can see a few of the grapevines are starting to bud out. There's a bud right there on that big branch. There's a lot of buds on these other ones that I can see starting to swell. I've kept the buds on the grapevines closest to the ground. So like if they've got 2 buds sticking out, like let's just take this one for example. You know, it had 2 buds, so this is the grape cutting right here, and so there's a bud right there at the bottom, and then there was a bud right here at the top, and I just rubbed that one off, and I'm keeping the one near the bottom. And I'm just thinking that with it being closer to the base, it'll have more accessibility to the moisture that it's absorbing. It'll have a better chance at surviving if it does get hot and dry, because I don't really plan on watering these, at least for the time being, to see how it goes. And I'm hoping they can just make it completely on their own, kind of doing a little experiment with that. And so it should be interesting to see what happens. And looks like there's a lot of the willow that are starting to bloom out, and the grapes are starting to, a lot of them are starting to swell the buds. So I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen here. See if we hopefully get some baby grapevines, which would be nice since I love grapes. They're so amazing and healthy and just refreshing to eat. So hopefully we'll get some of them soon. Willow's looking good, really healthy, nice looking growth on there. This other willow looks so nice in the sunshine. I'm surprised the deer haven't found that leaning right over there. They usually munch anything that makes it, and it sprawls out over the edge of the. So that's everything's looking good. Got some stuff starting to bud out, so by next week really hopefully should have some stuff really kicking into gear and growing good. So hopefully you have some good stuff growing, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye guys.